You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers and George Pickens because their star wide receiver and all this attention, and let's be real, all this drama that he has caused the Steelers locker room and Mike Tomlin. And obviously there's a fracture going on in that locker room. There's a culture going on. You got defensive players that I don't know that I would go so far as to say they're calling out offensive players, but there obviously is a distinct difference between the two sides, I think, in the locker room. But more specifically, it's around Deontay Johnson and George Pickens. And now it has caught the attention of a Bengals wide receiver, and a really good one, and he absolutely flattens George Pickens into dust. He slammed him yesterday for not doing his job. And we've got Jaylen Warren making comments because we know George Pickens did not block for him the other day against the Colts. And Jaylen Warren is clearly not happy about it either. And it seems to me the Steelers have got another star wide receiver that they're ultimately going to have to get the hell out of that locker room. I don't know how else to say it. He would not be on my team anymore right now, and I understand this team needs offensive talent. I get it. But there's just no way. And it may mess around and cost him a coach if Mike Tomlin, if he doesn't perform the rest of the year or whatever, there may be a mutual split here. But it's gone bad. Let's get to this. I think Tyler Boyd is a free agent after the season, and he's going to be one of the guys that is higher on people's list. I know T. Higgins is, and he's going to be the number one guy. And I get it. It's the Bengals, and it's a rival. But some guys are just team guys, and other guys you just have to maybe let go. And George Pickens was a known issue coming out of the draft for attitude problems, and that's why so many teams did not have the dude on their boards. It was a thing, and if Mike Tomlin can't get through to you, good luck. I don't know what to tell you. This is Steelers now. The George Pickens situation has caught the attention of those around the league in the NFL after Pickens' comments on Tuesday. However, now Mike Tomlin and even Jaylen Warren have addressed them. The focus naturally has to go towards the Bengals for the Steelers. With all of that talk internally occurring alongside the Pickens questions, it's interesting that a shot would come from a Bengals side about Pickens. Bengals wide receiver Tyler Boyd dished on Pickens' conversation and believes that there is a more significant picture issue with the Steelers' culture. He first called out the lack of effort from Pickens, but then dished on it showing a massive issue with the team's own locker room. Quote, "It just shows the lack of camaraderie that's over there," Boyd told ESPN's Ben Baby. "I can't really talk for anybody, but when things ain't going well, you still have to perform at a high level and do what you can to help your team. I saw a clip with him on a pick, and it kind of looked like he wasn't trying to chase it down. See, I don't go about that. That's something that they got to deal with. When things ain't going good, that's when your true colors show. Woo! When things start breaking down, if you're a good character, that's when you're going to stand up and start being an advocate for your teammates and your team. Clearly, Pickens is not that guy. I like to be the same player week in, week out, whether it's going good or going bad for me. Boyd has experience. He was on all of those bad Bengals teams that may seem to some of this go on, and more than that. He is someone from Pittsburgh who played at Pitt and knows the culture around the city, so he has some interesting perspectives to talk about George Pickens and what he is doing here. This will get classified as bulletin board material, but Boyd is just speaking from what he believes here. I mean, honestly, will it be bulletin board material? Because I'm not sure after seeing these comments from Jaylen Warren, I'm not sure that many of these Steelers players are an advocate for George Pickens right now. I don't. And, of course, you got an issue, and we're fixing to talk about it right here with Hines Ward. I mean, he's arguably the best blocker in NFL history when it comes to wide receivers. So it's a terrible look, and part of it is just because it's a blue-collar city with a blue-collar work ethic. So the Post-Gazette posted this, just to pose that George Pickens' explanation for why he stood still and let a Colts defender tackle running back Jaylen Warren a yard shy of the end zone in Saturday's 30-13 loss to the Colts. God, you not only lost the game, you got boat raced in it. You got blown out. Quote, I was just trying to prevent the Tank Dell situations, Pickens said Tuesday following the practice. The same thing happened to Tank Dell. I didn't want to get an injury. If you stay on the block too long, you can get ran up on very easily. Dell, a receiver for the Texans, suffered a season-ending injury earlier this season when his leg got pinned underneath a pile. Quote, I see where he's coming from, Warren said. It is what it is. At the end of the day, he was doing what he thought was best for him. But you can tell Jaylen Warren's got an issue. Does Warren have an issue with Pickens not doing what's best for the team? Some people play the game differently, Warren said. If I was in that position, I would have blocked for him. But we play differently, so Warren gives max effort on every play. He would get the ball a lot. While Pickens is under scrutiny almost every week for something, I would move off a little bit of Najee Harris. I would. Now, Mike Tomlin said Wednesday Pickens will play in Saturday's game against the Bengals, a must-win game for the Steelers to keep their playoff hopes alive. Quote, because he's got talents, Tomlin said, when asked why he will play Pickens, we want to utilize him. He's very much in a growth and development, but it would be the very same if we were winning games or he said appropriate things with you guys. That would have made you guys go away, but that wouldn't have made me any more comfortable about this process he's going through. Quote, it will continue to require our attention. You've got a team right now that is in peril. A team that is in peril on the field and trying to make a playoff run, and you're dealing with this crap off the field. That is the problem. You don't need any more stress. I'm just acknowledging it. It's a process, and our posture based on present circumstances won't change. We're coming to work every day in that regard. Part of it is education. I want him to understand that. When you're winning and doing your job, the attention is on that. When you're not doing your job and losing, you better keep your damn mouth shut. Woo! And understand that attracts a certain type of attention, and usually that's a vulture-like attention. He gets what's coming to him. He deserves to get destroyed. I mean, he does. Refusing to block and quitting on teammates is most definitely the most egregious mistake Pickens made on Saturday, but it wasn't the only one. Wow. When Mitch Trubisky threw an interception over the middle late in the game to Colts safety Justin Blackmon, Pickens was the intended target and closest Steelers player to Blackmon. But Pickens did not attempt to chase down Blackmon. He ran in the other direction to avoid a tackle. This guy would not be on my team anymore. I'm just keeping it real. Interim offensive coordinator Eddie Faulkner said Pickens was called out in front of the team after the Colts game. Quote, you address it, you present it to the group, you make sure it's called out among the guys, and they understand what your stance is, and then you move on from it. He's a young guy and has to continue to learn how to be a professional. Stop it. Stop it. I mean, there's no way. You cannot let that guy slide on that. I mean, you got issues with not only your attitude, but now you got issues with hustle, effort. I mean, what's the benefit here? I understand he's very talented and he's going to flash. But obviously, he's broken the offensive side of the locker room. And not only that, but your defense is trying to play their ass off and keep you in games. They're a hard-nosed bunch. I mean, your coaches are. It's a nightmare. It's turned into a nightmare. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm shocked that Mike Tomlin has put up with it this long. And all I will say is, if this was happening prior to the trade deadline, I think he'd have got traded for a ham sandwich. I mean, honestly. And that's considering if you can find somebody that'll take him. You know? Maybe a Pete Carroll or somebody like that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other other players, coaches out there that might make something out of him. Andy Reid, yeah, I continue to say might have been a guy or might be a guy in the future. But there's clearly something wrong with this kid. You know, he just doesn't get it. It's not clicking. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.